Yo, what's good? MikeO from Let's Talk About It. Hit that subscribe button. Canelo Alvarez. Critics are on your helmet. Critics and fans alike. You are definitely under attack. And let's talk about why. Now, since 2022, since you lost to Bivol, you fought the following fighters: Triple G, John Ryder, Jermell Charlo, Jaime Munguia, and now potentially Edgar Berlanga. Now, the problem is that there's really no big names on this list, since Bivol. And Triple G in 2022 was not a big name. He wasn't relevant. Triple G was regular weed in 2022. Just the facts. Now, there's been a lot of names of potential fights that's come up for Canelo, none of which have happened. One of the biggest names, of course, is Terrence Crawford, which I would have loved for that fight to have happened for Crawford. I think Crawford's been one of the most duck fighters for a really long time. He's stapled his career as a Hall of Famer, and it's just too bad that he's never got that big shot, that big fight, that huge pay-per-view, that $50 million check. I don't think that he's ever got that. So it's a little bit too bad that we probably won't be able to see this fight now that Bud had that horrible last fight. So I'm not sure if that fight is even going to happen. But I for the longest have given Canelo a pass, and I still kind of do. Canelo's fought 65 fights. 65 fights, and if we want to keep it a buck, he's had some huge names within those 65 fights. He's had Triple G, and not 2022 Triple G. He had Caleb Plant, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland, Floyd Mayweather, Austin Trout, Mosley. Like, he has a solidified Hall of Fame resume. So for me, if Canelo wants to take some fights off and fight some mid-tier regular weed fighters, I'm totally okay with that. However, you have to mix in some elite fighters. And some could say Jermell Charlo was that elite fighter, but I think that I don't agree. Jermell Charlo was a smaller Charlo, and they all kind of had these little weird mental issues going on. So, Jaime Munguia, he is a big name on paper. He's pretty much, Munguia is all sizzle, no steak, if we keeping it a buck. He's all sizzle, no steak, just being honest. So it's just, Canelo, you just haven't fought anybody. You really haven't fought anybody to where we're interested in paying for your pay-per-view fights. Like the Berlanga fight, I'm not really interested in that. I think that's pretty much all hype, and it's not going to lead to the type of fight that we want. We could see an upset, but I don't think that that's the point. You possibly losing to a unknown fighter, it would be exciting, but it's not what the fans would have initially wanted. We want to see big names. The fans want to see big names, and no name bigger than David Benavidez. That's who they want to see, and you're not giving the fans that yet. And part of me thinks that when he starts getting into his last 2 years of fighting is when we may start seeing some bigger names, because I'm not sure if he wants to further blemish his career. I mean, he has 2 losses, 2 draws. I don't know if he wants to be that type of fighter to, as they start getting older, start taking these losses. But again, if you're in the game of boxing, you got to box, and you got to start boxing names that the fans want to see. And like I said, specifically David Benavidez, that's who they want to see. You know, they probably a rematch with Bivol would even satisfy a lot of people. You know, Terrence Crawford, of course, would satisfy a lot of people, but they want to see some big names. Like right now, you're just kind of skating along these last 2.5 years, and I just think that we need more out of you. And I am a huge Canelo Alvarez fan. I think he is one of the biggest draws in boxing, if not the biggest draw in boxing today. You know, I think that he's earned his stripes. You know, I think he's fought a ton of credible fighters. He's paid his dues. And I think that he is allowed to cherry pick some fights. But you just can't cherry pick the entire orchard. Like, you know, you have to take some bigger names. You have to fight some fights that are going to be harder and more challenging. And I think the names that he's picking right now, it's just not it. It's just what it is. But, you know, you guys let me know what you think. You know, do you think Canelo's doing the right thing? Is he ducking fighters? Who would you like to see him fight next? I really would like to know your opinions. And so please follow, like, subscribe. Until next time, I am out.